And I finished the workout. We get to stretching. I tried to stand. I went on the floor. We had some stretches with our bodies on the ground. I stood up from there. I felt some sort of fire, a spark in my back. I was like, oh shit! I hurt myself during that exact day. And how much of a bitch that is, to get ready for an event, to attend practice, to prepare for that event, and to hurt yourself on the exact event. So I was like, oh my goodness, what do I do? Do I call off the playoffs? Do I not do it? And I was like, nope. That's the moment where you try to be a bitch and you just give yourself some slaps to the face. I'm like, nope, Christian, you are gonna do it. Figure out a way to recover until the playoffs, because you basically have 7 days to recover. So the next day, immediately after that injury, it was not an injury. Fortunately, it was not as serious as it used to happen to me before, because it happened to me before. I hurt myself the same way while doing a set of deadlift. And that hurt. That forced me to stay in bed for three days. Okay. So immediately after that happened during the playoffs practice, I called my therapist. I got a therapist that I usually call. It's a lady that specializes in electrotherapy. I don't exactly know how to call it, but she basically puts some patches on you and some cream, and she rubs the injured area. Okay, she rubs the injured area, and she sends those electro signals, and it seems to work and to help you heal. So I saw her the day right after I hurt myself, and then I saw her after 2 days again. So on the second time I saw her, I felt like I was getting better. I tested myself by going to an F45 workout on the Thursday, 2 days before the actual playoffs, and I was like, okay, it seems like I'm all right. And so I was like, okay, the playoffs should work perfectly. Comes the day of the playoffs. I tipped myself first because I still did not trust myself. I was like, I think today my back will either hold and will go through it, or it will either break down even more and will actually give me an even more serious injuries. But I really did not want to use that as an excuse to not do the playoffs, because I was like, the playoffs don't happen often. And again, I got a duty, I got a responsibility, I got to show some form of example, and I have to, just let people see that, hey, I'm out there doing the work and that I'm actually really serious about this whole training thing. So I did not want my injury from the week before stop me or be an excuse for me to just avoid the event, even if in my most right mind I should have avoided the event. But I just was like, nope, we're gonna do this like it or not. So we did it. Okay. All the coaches went together. So before all the members came to the studio to do their playoffs, all the coaches did their first. We all went there in the morning and we did ours early. And so, we started, we warmed up, and then we all started. I started my rowings. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. And I actually did feel really good. I did my rowing. I did the bench ups. Bam, 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 bam. I got tired, but I felt like I had a little bit of somewhat of stamina to kind of like keep me pushing, okay? And then I went on the push-ups. I went on the lateral hops. I pretty much went through the entire thing. And I did really feel like I was doing a great job. I was like, this is good. Like, I'm going to get the score. I'm going to crush it. And then I finish, okay? We go to calculate my score, and I realized I did not make the 500. I was like, what the fudge? Like, I think my score was 420 on that day, which just crushed me. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this is not possible. But I was still too tired to actually process it. And by the way, after I finished my session of playoff, I was just dead. Like, I could actually not even stand up. Okay, like I had to sit down and I started to cough. I started to cough. And as I was coughing, I felt like my dinner from the previous night came back up, and I coughed. And actually, it was not just a cough; it was actual dinner. Actually, I threw up. I literally threw up right after the playoff. So I ran really quick to the shower, and I threw my life up. Boom, 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 boom. I'm not gonna go into the details, but it was nasty. It was painful. That's how painful the F45 playoffs are. You go through that workout for 10 minutes. It seems like the exercises don't look like nothing when you look at them, but when you go through each one of them in the exact order that they've been set, oh my lord, you're gonna hate your life, and life is gonna hate you too. So I threw up. I was like, damn, this is crazy. Like, this is painful. I had to rest. I had to sit down. And then I checked my score, and I was like, what? So the score is actually not even the score that I was hoping for. The score is actually not the scores I was aiming for. And there it happened. Something about myself, guys, is that I'm really, 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 really harsh on myself. Like, I can never be happy with myself. Like, it really takes a lot for me to sit down and to say, wow, I'm happy about this thing that I did. And yet, it's really easy for me to criticize myself and to get into a very toxic conversation with myself, in which all that I do is to just belittle myself, criticize myself, and to pretty much just, just not give myself any credits at all, and to give myself all kinds of pressure. And so I saw my score, and I was like, okay, Christian, you fucked up. You fucked up big time. What the fuck is this? And it became even worse because, again, all the trainers did their sessions in the morning before we start to coach the members and just run the event. So the entire morning after I finished my playoffs, I had to put aside my lousy, kind of like disappointed, angry, and almost ashamed mood to go out there to push people, to count score for them, and to encourage them to do their playoffs and to push themselves harder than what I have not even been able to do. That was not good at all. I did not like that morning at all. Like, I felt like such a fraud. I was like, here you are, Mr. 1% better. What the fuck now? What the fuck you gonna do that? Look at what you do in Mr. 1%. Because, like, everybody knows me that I always speak about 1% better. I always speak about getting better, pushing yourself to the limit. I always speak about, as soon as something gets hard, that's when you know that you need to push even more. I always speak about self-development. And I was like, how am I out here pushing all those people to go beyond their limits while I did not even technically go beyond mine? I'm a fraud. I'm a fake. Like, I'm a failure. Like, and I tell you, like, when I go into this conversation with myself, oh my goodness, like, I was mad and pissed the entire morning. And you know what? When you're mad and when you're pissed about something, when you feel like something does not make you happy, you freaking do something about it. So that's what I did. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to do my playoffs one more time, and I'm going to crush it. I'm going to pull it out of the fire. Okay? I'm going to do this for myself, because I'm not about to leave this event right here today with that shitty ass score that I had. I want to go back home being proud of myself for the score that I had, and also being proud of myself for the fact that I corrected my fuck up. That was my mindset at around 11:30. I was like, during the entire morning, I was just going back and forth. I was like, what the fuck do I do? How do I do this? How do I correct this? And then it came to my mind. I was like, let me just do it one more time, which sounds like suicide, because, again, if you know how intensive the playoffs are, it is just intensive. But at this point, I just did not see any other options for me. Like, I wanted to go back home, sleep in peace at night, and I just knew that the situation and the circumstances, the performance that I made was just not the best scenario for me to think with a peaceful mind and to help me sleep at night. So I had to just do something about this. And so, everybody finished their playoffs, and everybody was around. It was lunch break, and everybody was resting before we welcomed the next set of members between 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And so I had that window, and I was like, Reggie, I'm gonna do mine again. Reggie is a good friend of mine. He's also one of the coaches at F45, and I was like, I'm gonna do my playoffs again. Could you help me count the score, and could you yell at me, and could you tell me how much and how many repetitions do I need to aim for on each exercise? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna aim for more every time. Reggie was like, okay, let's do it. And so we did it again. And honestly, guys, when I was about to do my playoffs for the second time, I just did not even believe in it. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what is this? Am I even going to be able to pull this off? But then something happened. I realized that, hey, it was not only me. Like, everybody else was watching. I was like, oh, crap. Now there's no options. You need to succeed. You need to pull this out of fire, my dear Christian. Otherwise, all these people, they're gonna roast you. Maybe they will not roast me, obviously, because we got such a loving community with all kinds of very cheerful and positive people. But to me, right, I just felt like as a coach and as the person who pushed these people and as a person who mentored them and who guide them during the workouts to push themselves, I feel like I was failing them if I did not give myself a second chance to correct my mess up and if I did not try to succeed. Like, that was my mindset. That's my mindset as a coach. I really feel like it would be wrong for me, and I really feel like I would be a fraud if I'm out there constantly pushing people, telling them to work hard, telling them to do one more rep, if I was not even able to live up to those standards. Like, if I was not even able to practice what I preach, to walk my talk, like, I wouldn't feel like it's right. Like, so I just had to redo it again. And guess what? I crushed it. I crushed it. I don't even know how it happened. I think I just went in David Goggin mode. I was like, you know what? Your mindset is strong. If your mindset is there, your body will do the work. Keep in mind, guys, that my back was starting to feel tight. I hurt my back the week before, so there was kind of a lot of things at stake. There was a lot of things on the line during this event, but I was like, fuck it. We are going to make it, Christian. You owe this to yourself. You owe this to your brand, because your brand is all about pushing yourself and getting better. And you owe this to anyone who buys into your brand. And you owe this to the community of people that you are trying to push. So let's do it. We started. Rowing machine was fine. Bench hops was fine. Push-ups was fine. On the push-ups, I actually started to struggle. But this is actually why an accountability system is so helpful, because what Reggie did was he was just right there, right next to me, and he was telling me, okay, on this one you need to do this. On this one, this needs to be your pace. This needs to be how you do this exercise. And I kept those tips with me during the entire session, which was really valuable and helpful. So whenever you do some sort of competitions, guys, or whenever you go through some sort of tests, find a way to have someone close to you and to have any sort of sources of reminders that you can use. Because sometimes you might be going through this fitness test and you might be thinking that you're doing things the right way, but actually when you look at the numbers, just like what I did during my first F45 session, you might actually be fucking up and you don't even know. But with Reggie right next to me, he was like, okay, 1 more, 2 more, 3 more. You need to do this. You need to do how many of these repetitions here. And we did it. It actually felt easy that way. Okay, no. It still kicked my ass because, again, I did it 1 time. The second time was, pulling it out of fire really made sense during that day. And so we got to the lateral hops and then we got to the burpees. This was where I started to struggle. But again, Reggie was there to yell at me, and then Kate also came. Kate is also is our head coach as well as the general manager that we have at F45. She's one of my mentors. She taught me so many things ever since I joined F45. So they were both there, right, to just yell at me and to tell me, come on, Christian, you're still doing the same shit that you did during your first session. You gotta do better than that. Because it was true. I was doing the thing. Okay, I was like, okay, I'm doing this a second time, but actually, they told me, hey, you still got kind of the same scores as the first time. This is still gonna be shit. And so this is where I had to really, really take it out of my mind. I was like, I actually loved the moment that I went through because it was a moment where I was like, shut down the bitch. Like, just shut down the negativity, shut down the devil, shut down that voice in your mind that tells you that you're tired. You need to raise another voice, another one that is way much more louder and way much more powerful. It was such a great mindset shift. Like, I did feel like I became somebody else for a couple of minutes. I was like, okay, this is the exercise. Uh, the burpees, the squats to press, the Russian twist, and the last one, the cone hops, are the ones on which I fucked up on the first one. And so I was like, okay, these ones I need to just do a little bit more on each one of them, and I'll be fine. And that's what I did. Mostly on the Russian twist, I had to like really push more, push more, push more. And this is something I realized, guys, is that really the performance that I had on my second session, on my second try, was a performance that I could have also had during the first try, but there was just two things that were lacking: the support, the accountability of someone who holds you accountable and who keeps pushing you and guiding you through the session. And the second one is that I was holding myself back. During the first session, I was not really allowing myself to just go towards that painful zone. It's like I was still kind of babying myself. So that's why I failed. That's why I did not really do what I was supposed to do. Like, I had a desire, but my action did not match the desire. My action did not match the desire because my mindset was not there. It was not geared. But then during the second session, when I mean, with the help, honestly, I'm grateful to Reggie and Kate, as well as everybody else too, because again, I was with my Russian twist, guys, and everybody was there. Everybody. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what is this? Christian, you cannot fail. If you don't want to fail for you, then at least do not fail for all those people. And so everybody watching and all the coaches yelling at me have really added the pressure, which was a good pressure because it unlocked my mindset. My mindset got unlocked. I started to believe that I could push more, and then the behavior followed. I actually pushed more, and then the results matched my desire. I finished. I got on the ground. I got on the floor. I was dead. Okay, I slept. No, I mean, I didn't sleep. I just laid down. Then Reggie came back and he showed me my score. It actually felt so good that I kind of teared up a bit. I cried. Like, I was on the floor and I cried a bit. I was like, I made it. But I was so tired that I did not even have any tears. I could not even actually cry properly. You know, when you're so tired and when you don't have energy anymore, that you cannot even bring out any sort of emotions out of you. Like, that's literally how I felt. And so that's how that day happened, guys. Super proud of me. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back home, and this is exactly the turnout that I wanted. This is exactly the conclusion, and this is exactly what I had wished from this day, and I made it. And so I'm actually gonna leave you guys with this. If there's any sort of thing that you want to achieve, if there's any sort of visions that you want to achieve, and we're only speaking about fitness here, but what happened and what I did during that day, guys, you could very easily apply the same type of mindset in your daily life. If there's something specific that you think you want to achieve and that you think you cannot achieve, nobody has told you that you cannot achieve it. There's no sign that tells you that you cannot achieve it. It's only you that is holding you back. So next time you face a challenge, go to the roots of your mindset. Go deep inside yourself. Understand that there's always going to be two voices speaking to each other. There's going to be one voice that wants you to stay comfortable and that's going to hold you back. And there's going to be another voice that is the one who wants to grow and who wants to get out of the safe cocoon. And you want to let this voice be. You want to go into this voice, embrace this voice. Because listening to this voice right here, despite how uncomfortable it might be, is going to lead you toward greater success and greater growth. The pain and the discomfort and the struggle that you are going to go through and that you are going to feel by aiming and by actively working towards a goal is always going to be way much more tolerable and way much more worth it than the pain of not moving anywhere because you have listened to this voice right here. The bitch voice, the pussy voice. And so, guys, if there's anything that you take from this podcast, is that you can do anything, but you just hold yourself back. All right, you need to let yourself be, let yourself march, and let yourself walk into what you want to be and what you want to achieve, and you will make it. You will be successful.